Hili hili hale khonma gaisna hat min hoiwash nim hoiwash Shonna hili min kho nim kho baunayu. Okay, so for today's video we're going to go over the sounds of our consonants. You may notice just from kind of looking over these where we don't have all of the same consonants that there are in English. So we don't have the sound for the Z, like Z, we don't have R's, and we don't have F's as well. I'm going to go over kind of just the basic sound of these consonants just by themselves. It is a little hard for me to pronounce it like without like a vowel followed before or after the consonant, but I'm just going to kind of gloss over these for you to kind of get that initial sound and kind of listen for that in these words that we'll go over. So we have some linguistic terms here to the left. So we have stops. So these consonants all are considered stops. Fricatives. We have the sh and h. These are considered fricatives, these consonants here. And we have our nasals, our liquids here, and our glides. So these W's and Y's. So for stops, we would have b, 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 d, 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 j, 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 g, 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 p, 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 t, 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 ch, 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 k, k, k. And you'll notice that this is, not something that we have in the English alphabet, but this is our glottal stop. And the closest example that we would have for a glottal stop in English would be the pause that you hear in uh-oh, uh-oh. So whenever you see this in certain words, that is indicating a pause, like a slight pause, uh-oh. But we'll come across some examples of those words that use that in some later slides. And you'll see the glottal stop as this symbol here, and also as like a comma. So this symbol is used with vowels, so after a vowel or right before a vowel, like at the beginning of a word. But we'll come across some of those examples later. So continuing on with our stops. So these ones here, these are a little bit more emphasized, they're ejective. So instead of the basic stop sound for P, we as in p, p, this is more pronounced. It's p. So we have p, and T, we have t, t, and then the ejective, the more pronounced one is t, t. So comparing t to t, 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 and following up with the ch, ch, compared to ch. So you can kind of hear the different sounds. Even though they're the same letters, they both make a slightly different sound. So from a more softer ch, we have ch, ch, followed up with the k, as in k, k. Now with this apostrophe here, or the comma here, we have k, k. So I'm going to go over these one more time. I'll compare each one. So p, to, and the k is kind of like when I say k, I can feel it kind of more like in the back of, not really in the back of my throat, but closer to where my throat is. And it'll be a lot more kind of recognizable when we have actual words that use these sounds. So for those fricatives, we have s, s, sh, sh, and and so I know a lot of some of my students, like when I'm trying to teach my family some of our words, we always come across the sound, and sometimes it's a little bit more difficult for people to kind of pronounce because we don't really have, a lot of words in English where we use this sound, on a daily basis. But it's just going to take a lot of practice and kind of listening to what that sound is like. For me personally, it kind of helps when I have a little bit of saliva in my mouth, and it's like a I can feel like my tongue sort of in the back of my throat kind of helping make that sound with the but it'll definitely help when we have some example words that use that sound. So our nasals, when you say these, you can kind of feel it in your nose. So we have and this one with a little comma here, this is like a stop. So it's, instead of dragging out the it's So compared to and then compared to So one more time. So and for liquids, this is for that L sound. So would be O, and then just the same for as we saw the M and the N, it's kind of like a stop. So instead of O, it would be O, 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 O. And for our glides, these are kind of what you will see at the end of a lot of words. So the W at the end. So it'd be like if I put a vowel like a oo sound, be like oo, 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 oo. And these are a lot more easier to say when I have a vowel in the front, but we'll come across more of these words later on as we go over the sounds of these consonants. So let's go ahead and see some examples. So again, our plain, some of these plain consonants would be b, big, d, dogs, g, get, j, joyous. So we have b, bonoit, b, bonoit, bonyo, bonoit, bonyo, b, b. Our word for foot, we have d, dadach, dadach, dadachi, dadachi, dadach, dadach, dadachi, dadachi, dadach, dadachi, dadach, dadach, dadachi, dadachi. And for g, we have gawayu, gawayu, gawayun, gawayun, g, gawayu, gawayun. And this is our word for horse, gawayu, gawayun. And here we have j, as in jolchona, jolchona, jolchonaan, jolchona, jolchonaan. And this is for cricket, j, jolchona, jolchona, jolchonaan, jolchonaan. And here we have the p, t, k, ch, p, t, k, ch. So P as in plain, plain, t, toast, t, toast, k, kills, k, kills, ch, children, ch, children. So for that p sound, we have pil, pill, paley, paley, pill, pill, paley, paley. And this is our word for road or pathway. So pill, pill, paley, paley. And here we have our word for rabbit again. So this is teo, teo, tewa, tewa, teo, teo, tewa, tewa, teo, teo, tewa, tewa. And the k for kape, kape, kapein, kapein, kape, kapein. And this is for coffee, kape, kapein. And here we have our word for dog once more. We have checha, checha, chechaan, chechaan, checha, checha, chechaan, chechaan. And here we have those ejective consonants for our and these sounds are also found in the Navajo language. So, for example, we have onosh, onosh, onosha, onosha, and this is our word for hand. So, onosh, onosh, onosha, onosha. And here we have the oyosh, oyosh, oyosha, oyosha, oyosh, oyosh, oyosha, oyosha. This is for arrow. And here we have our k sound. And for example, we use this sound in our word for water. Ilik, ilik, ilka, ilka, ilik, ilik, ilka, ilka. Water. Ilik, ilik, ilka, ilka. And here for our word for bird again, we have chimpite, 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 chimpite. And now we've moved on to the fricatives. So here we have the s for sawmill, sawmill, sawmilla, sawmilla, sawmill, sawmill, sawmilla, sawmilla. And we also have that sound in here as well as our example for sh, sh. So this is our word for basket, and we have t'ewish, t'ewish, t'ewisha, t'ewisha, t'ewish, t'ewisha. And here we have an example for that sound. So we have cheshich, cheshich, cheshicha, cheshich, cheshicha. And that's the word for a nail, so as in like fingernail or toenail. Cheshich, cheshicha. And here we have mamil, mamil, mamila, mamila. And that's our word for blackberry. Mamil, mamila. And our word for snow, we have that sound. We have any, any, any-in, any-in. And for that sound, we have ohum, ohum. And this is our word for no. Ohum, ohum. And the we have un, un, and this is for like the word for don't. Un, un. And for the sound, we have limik, limik, limka, limka. That's our word for black. Limik, limik, limka, limka. And our word for quail, we have humnol, humnol, humnola, humnola. So in our subject form of quail, we have the sound, humnol, humnol. And the object form is more of that softer O sound, humnola, humnola, humnol, humnol, humnola. And we have that as in our word for Chukchansi, 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 Chukchansi for cricket. And that for our Y, we have yet, yeta, yeta. And that's our word for one. Yet, yeta, yeta. And for the W sound, we have eagle, wotshul, wotshul, wotshula, wotshula, wotshul, wotshul, wotshula. And for an airplane, we have our example word, hoitno, hoitno, hoitnoon, hoitnoon, hoitno, hoitnoon. And this is our word for fox. And this is outja, outja, outja'an, outja'an, outja, outja, outja'an, outja'an. And for that glottal stop, you'll notice that there is one at the beginning of the word for snow, for any, and at the end. So when you see it at the beginning of the word, as it is in this one, with the right before that vowel, it kind of, I guess the best way I could explain it, it's like kind of like a pause or stop before you're actually saying the vowel. So it might be a little bit difficult to hear, but instead of any, it would be any, any, any. As to the what you wouldn't say, it would be any, any. But this glottal stop indicates it's kind of like built up almost, like any, any. And when you see that glottal stop at the end, it's kind of like it also indicates that the word, as in this one, is the subject. And it also is that stop. So, any, any. And the object form, any in, any in. And here we have huya, huya, huya un, huya un. And that was our word for caterpillar. Huya, huya un. All right. So this concludes the sounds of our consonants in Chukchansi. I know for me personally, tackling the sounds of some of these consonants was a little bit difficult for me, and I'm still learning myself, but my best advice to you is just to keep practicing and just doing your best. Don't get discouraged. It's taken me a while to kind of, listen to when my elders speak, to kind of hear that sound and notice the differences between like a similar sounding sound. So just keep listening. If you have elders that speak the language, just listen to them and kind of notice those differences and just have a keen ear for it. So I really hope that this video was helpful for you to kind of hear those consonant sounds. And I look forward to having you watching the next video. Hiya!